Hey guys, and welcome back to another Path of Exile Expedition League build guide video update. This is your boy Ryan, and in this video we are gonna talk about some of the updates made in my Scion MoM miner build guide. I made some drastic changes in the build, which includes the cluster setup. We went for full 2 set of clusters and some updates to the gear. And most importantly, we went through a whole lot of changes into the mechanics of the build and how it deals damage. So we are going to talk about a lot. So buckle up and let's get through these changes together. Also, if you prefer these kinds of videos, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, as it helps motivate me to make more awesome content in such a dead league. Also, let me know about what your thoughts are on the build and as well as in general of the game right now in the comment section down below. If you have anything that you want to ask me about or extensive some sort of questions that you have, do not hesitate to PM me on Discord. The links will be in the description of the video below. Okay, with that said, let's get through the new changes for the skills and gears real quick. So first of all, we went from Eye of Winter into Fireball. We are now a Fireball miner. Reason for that being this has the highest added damage effectiveness in the whole game in terms of skills when we are playing mines, that is, or other means like brands and totem setups. So Fireball is the way to go. And for the skill links with this is going to be the same: high impact mine, minefield, charged mines, and increased crit damage support. But on our 6th, we swapped out from increased critical strike into fork support for clearing, and then trap and mine damage support for bossing. We have capped our crit through other means, so we don't need that critical strike support anymore. Other than that, the skill links are pretty much the same. We still have Vortex with Bone Chill, Arcane Surge, and Arcane Cloak. We have our auras: Precision, Clarity, and Righteous Fire. We are swapping level 20 Clarity for a level 1 soon. And then we have Arcanist brand setup with Wave of Conviction, Hydrosphere, and Sniper's Mark. And our solo skills: Sigil of Power, Bear Trap, Ice Golem, and Flame Dash. We added a new aura with Essence Swarm Ring, and this is going to be Skitterbots for the Shock and Chill. And other than that, it triggers our mines and rearms them. It's really good. Because we went Essence Swarm so that we don't reserve any of our mana. So this is another unique gear piece. Also, we went with Painseeker gloves. I'm going to explain this later when I am explaining the new mechanics that I added in the game. Not in the game, but in the build. Other than that, we went for Dying Sun for more damage, as well as the extra projectiles to clear map really easily. And I went with use charges when reach full enchantment on them. The other classes are still the same, but for areas that have high chaos damage mobs, you want to use the Aziri's Promise so that you actually have positive chaos resistance and don't die to one shot from some mobs. That is going to be it for the gear and skill setups. Okay, now let's look at the new tree setup that I did. First of all, we did some changes to the pathing. We removed points from here and went downwards and path to here to save some points. Also, we leveled up to 93, so we have 2 setup clusters, and we bought better clusters on the large and mediums as well. Our large cluster is now Disorienting Display, Scintillating Idea, and Overshock. We're not taking this because we don't have points, of course. We're just taking the 2 for the damage and mana. Is the same for the other cluster as well. And for our mediums, we went Liquid Inspiration and Distilled Perfection. 2 here, and I want to replace this soon with Liquid Inspiration and Distilled Perfection. For our last one, it's White Concoction and Distilled Perfection. Ideally, you want Liquid Inspiration over here as well. Other than that, we went with a small cluster, Interrogation. This adds the Secrets of Suffering. This is the new mechanic that I was talking about earlier. This plays really well with the Painseeker gloves. I'll explain this in a bit. Just let me show the other stuff. And we went for the small jewels with either mana or HP, and then Mind Throwing Speed. Ideally, you want a crit multi over here as well, but they are extremely expensive, and I don't have the money for it. And we also went with a new Watcher Eye. This is going to be the 10% of damage taken from mana while affected by clarity. This is really good. And the rest of the tree is pretty much the same. Okay, now let's talk a little about the Secret Suffering. So this is the new mechanic that deals a lot of damage, basically. So this makes it so that we cannot ignite with our fire damage, we cannot chill or freeze with our cold damage, and we cannot shock the enemy with our lightning damage. But instead, we inflict Scorch with our fire damage, we inflict Brittle with our cold damage, and we inflict Sap with our lightning damage. These are the three new ailments for our damage. For our fire damage, we are using Fireball, so we are doing a lot of fire damage. So we inherently scorch the enemy all the time. Scorching inflicts up to 30% elemental penetration. It lowers the enemy's elemental resistance by up to 30% based on the amount of fire damage taken by the enemy. So we are maining a fire skill, so this is almost all the time up. Also, we have some added cold damage. As you can see, we deal 173 to 279 cold damage. This comes from our gloves here and some from our weapons. So even a very little amount of cold damage is enough to inflict Brittle on the enemy. Brittle makes it that the hit enemies we have up to 15% base critical strike chance. This solves our problems of our crit capping. So now we can remove our increased crit strike support from our gem setup, and we can get another damaging gem. So this is really good. And with our lightning damage that we do when we press Arcane Cloak, we sap the enemy, which makes the enemy deal 20% less damage to us. And we also, since are using Skitterbots, we are also inflicting chill and shock on the enemy. Now, chill doesn't do that much for us in terms of damage, but shock increases damage taken by the enemy. So now we have actually 5 ailments up on the enemy, including the Scorch, Brittle, and Sap, and then chill and shock from the Skitterbots itself. So this combination of Secrets of Suffering goes really well with the Painseeker. The inflict non-damaging ailments as though dealing 197% more damage is actually 197% boost to our effect of ailments. So if ideally without this, if we were to inflict up to 7% brittle on the enemy, we are now getting 15% brittle on the enemy, which is like 15% extra crit chance. But in practice, with this little amount of cold damage, we are actually getting somewhere around 10% base critical strike chance or 10% effect of brittle. If you can, on the weapons, get some flat added cold damage to increase this cap higher. Also, you can get them on a Stygian Vice, or not Stygian Vice, but you can get them on a Ghastly Eye Jewels or like Abyss Jewels and get a Stygian Vice. That way you can get some more flat added cold damage. But even with very little amount of cold damage like this 180 to 291, this is still enough to inflict a lot of brittle on the enemy. This mechanic together is really strong. This boosts our damage. This skyrockets the damage that we can do. So this solved all of the problems that I had previously on bossing for this build. Other than that, the replacement for the weapons would be nice, but they do not exist anymore. I have no idea how to craft the weapons either. So this is kind of stuck in this place. Also, with more levels, I'd like to get more jewel sockets with a better life, so I don't actually get one shot like right now, since I swapped out from this side of the tree and I am not taking life. My life is so low that if I get hit for a huge chunks of damage, I like pretty much die instantly. You do not have to do that. You should actually not invest this much into damage and get some life instead. That is going to be a lot better. That's going to feel a lot better. But that's totally up to you. I have a software mentality. I want to use my 6 photos. Yeah. And that's gonna be it for the update of the video. I think this is gonna be the end of this build, and I will move on to the next build. We are gonna be playing a meta skill, SST, full conversion with Raider. And once I have that build working, I'll release a build guide for the SST. We have some tweaks here and there for the SST as well. Oh, before I forgot, this anointment is not proper. You want the arcane capacitor as anointment. I was doing some shenanigans with this and trying out new gear, but it didn't work out. So that's gonna be it for the video. If you like this kind of content, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and also let me know about your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure that you subscribe. We are really close to 350. I wanna grow. Go subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao, and good luck out there, EXILES.